Hello, welcome to the Urban Farmstead. Today I'm going to share with you the secret of making your own seed tape at home. I have some items here just for my household. This is toilet paper. It's 2-ply, which will become important in just a moment. The next is some non-toxic water-soluble glue, and you can get that at a local office supply store if you don't have some in your house. A permanent marker, a toothpick, and the seed that you're planning to use, which in this case I'm going to be planting some Scarlet Nance, and these are a carrot seed. I put them in a little container just because it makes it a little easier to manage them. And then last but not least, a cardboard box to provide backing for you so your permanent marker doesn't go through. All right, so let's get started. Now, first I'm just going to draw some toilet paper out. Now, each of these squares is 4 inches by 4.5 inches, and I know that carrots need about 1 inch to 2 inches worth of space. So what I'm going to do is take my permanent marker, and I'm putting my hand here so you can see the end of my tile, and it's also easier to visualize. You want to come in slightly, both from the top and from the side, to make your first mark. And I'm going to put 1 dot on each corner, just like this, and then I'm going to make a plus sign. And there you have it. This is my spacing for carrots, 9 seeds per square. So then I'll move this ahead again and do this again. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to get it as close as possible to the right spacing. And you'll see the reason why now we came in a little bit from the corners, because if we put this right up against the line, these 2 seeds would be too close. Okay, I'll do one more here, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay. And you can see it goes through all the way to the other side, which is one of the reasons why we have our cardboard box here. And you can continue doing this for as long as you need. So you don't have to just do three tiles and then stop. In fact, when I sit and do this to prepare for our garden, I tend to do more like 40 or 50 feet at a time. Now, I said the 2-ply would become important, and this is why. If you have 2 or 3-ply, then you gently pull your plies apart, just like this, and you have not just 1 seed tape, but now you have 2 seed tapes. Okay, I'll put this other one over here to the side, and we'll just work on the one now. So now you're going to work on 1 ply at a time. This is where your glue is going to come in handy. You're going to take your glue, and I'll scoot this over slightly, and you're going to just put a little dab on each of the marks you just made. Okay. Now you're going to take your toothpick, and just to get you started, you're going to just dab it into the glue slightly. You're going to take your seeds and take that little bit of glue and pick up. Ideally, you just want to get 1 seed. I got a couple seeds. So what I'm going to do is put 1 seed in that, and another in this, and then 1 more, I think. Oh, no, I got 1 more there. And you can kind of see them in the glue as you turn it around. So now it's empty. All right, so now I'm just going to get 1 more seed. And it gets a little bit fiddly, but I have one there. There we go. Okay. once you get going, you start to really get into a rhythm of it. It takes a little bit getting used to, but once you get going, it gets much quicker. Now, the main thing is this is still wet, so you want to slide this over, and then you can start working on your next set here. And again, just a little dab of glue in each of your marks. And the reason that it's good to use seed tape is for two different reasons. One is that it really reduces the amount of waste of seed that you put into the ground, because if you're broadcasting, if you use the broadcast method to plant, you're wasting a lot of seed and you're not really sure. I mean, you may end up with a clump of carrots together, and then you may end up with bare patches. This ensures that they get equal distance, which means that each seed has the best chance of surviving and getting the nutrients and sun that it needs. Okay, so once I'm done with this, I just keep going. Like I said, I'll do sometimes 40 or 50 feet of this at a time. You want to make sure that this has time to dry. So as you continue on, you may want to have a chair next to you so you can just drape it over the chair until it completely dries. Once it's completely dry, you can actually roll it up and store it. I store it in a Ziploc bag to make sure I keep the seeds fresh. And then you can just label it right here on the outside of the Ziploc bag. Once you are ready to actually use this seed, it's dry and you're ready to plant it, you pull it out, you put your seed, let me get my toothpick out of there. You put your seed down, and then you're going to put it right next to each other, just like this in the ground, so that you can see now we've got even spacing all the way across. It's uniform spacing. Now this does get a little bit tricky if it's a windy day. You might want to have a couple extra pair of hands because as you can see, it's going to move and twist in the wind. If you don't have that, you can always take a couple of little pebbles and set them on there to help keep this flat until you're ready to cover it. I typically cover mine with sand because it allows the little seedlings to pop right up out of the soil and not have any resistance. If you use soil over this, you may end up with a small crust, and that can inhibit the little seedlings from popping up, and you want them to get to the sun as quickly as possible. So sand is the preference, and then always remember to keep your seedlings, your carrot seedlings, moist until you actually see those little greens popping up out of the top of the soil. That tells you that they're ready to start growing on their own. And as with all root vegetables, you want the root. So you want to actually, once they start growing well, to water them less so that they grow that big long root, the carrot, for you to harvest. All right. Well, that's how to make a seed tape for carrots. I will also, if you're looking for other plants, I will show you a method for planting with seed tape using a different spacing method for other types of seeds. So make sure to like and subscribe to our channel so that you can see all of our updates. All right, thanks for joining us, guys, on the Urban Farmstead. Have a great day. Bye.